And the Golden Globe nominations are out with some expected nods and a few surprises. Actors Marlon Wayans and Sky P. Marshall announced the nominees this morning for the 83rd annual event. One battle after another tops the list with 9 nominations, but it'll have some strong competition. ABC News contributor and senior producer of ESPN's Anscape, Kelley Carter, is here with more on that. Hi, Kelley. So who are the other big film contenders this year?
I mean, we got to talk about Frankenstein at Netflix. That to me was one of the most satisfying, experiences I had in the theater this
The
year.
great
With
Victor
the film
Frankenstein.
only topped by Sinners and what Ryan Coogler was able to do, and that came out earlier this year. And I was a little nervous about what that film was going to do by the time we got into award season because it did come out so early in the year and not in the fourth quarter, which is what we normally expect the best art of the year to come out. But that film was incredible. It was original, and that's something that you rarely see in Hollywood because so many films are based off of source material.
Now, the television category has some familiar names, right? Ones that we see come up all the time. But there's a newcomer in the mix, too.
There is a newcomer. Seth Rogen came through with the studio for Apple TV Plus. That was so much fun. And I think it was fun for a number of reasons. I mean, yes, it is incredibly funny. And you will binge it and then you will immediately run it back and binge it again. But it also is incredibly nuanced. It really gives you this behind the scenes look as to how Hollywood works. I thought that maybe it wasn't going to find an audience when I first screened it because I felt like it was so insider baseball. But then I started making, civilians watch it like my husband, and they were like, okay, this is funny. I get it. I may not totally understand all the things that are being discussed, but it absolutely resonated. We saw how big it did at the Emmys earlier this year, and I expect it to do really well at the Golden Globes also.
What do you make of the new categories this year?
Yeah, so cinematic achievement is back for the second year, and that really is an opportunity to tap into what real movie consumers are actually watching. So much that happens every year this time when we talk about the best art of the year is that it's a lot of art house films or independent films, not studio films that you probably actually went out and saw at the multiplex. And so this is an opportunity to really pay homage to films that really pierced through and did financially well, but also that people actually saw. So they feel like they're part of this whole experience. And I'm excited that that's back this year. Also new this year is Best Podcast. I wasn't entirely sure when they announced that voters would be including podcasts. But when you look and see who was nominated, you will see a lot of Hollywood-led podcasts that got in the nomination this year. And it kind of makes sense when you think about it, because so many actors are stepping behind the microphone and interviewing their friends and giving us a different way to talk about film. So I think that that's kind of cool.
And Kelley, you're a voter for the Golden Globes. What do voters look for when choosing top picks? Is it just whatever your favorite was in that category, or is there more to it than that?
I mean, I think there are a couple of things to it. I mean, yes, absolutely. It's what, our favorite picks were, but also we attend a lot of film festivals throughout the year, from Sundance to Toronto International Film Festival to Tribeca. And so we're able to see films right before they have their world premieres. And we really are able to kind of assess what we think people are going to be talking about in the next year. Obviously, art is very subjective, but in a way, we kind of know, what good acting is, what good writing is, what good producing is. And we really have to be the eyes of kind of every man to kind of prognosticate what people are going to love and what experience people are going to be talking about when it comes to the theater. And so a couple things we look for, but for me, it's what I love. And of course, I'm a critic, so I'm always right. So,
You sound like me in my household. Kelley, could these film nominations foreshadow what we're going to see at the Oscars?
In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. I always like to tell people that, award season is really a political campaign. So if you've seen a couple of advertisements telling you to watch a film that you probably haven't seen yet, that's about to amp up even more so. You're going to see people really taking this as a momentum and stepping out there to campaign and say, see, journalists love this film. The Golden Globes love this film so much so that they nominated it and they love this performance. So I think you should too, SAG-AFTRA and Producers Guild and ultimately the Academy. So I think it's a good stepping off point. It doesn't always foreshadow what we're going to hear called at the top of next year when we start hearing some of the bigger, shows like the Academy Awards. But it's a start. It's a start, and it helps people campaign.
All right, sounds good. Kelley Carter, thank you.
Thank you.